Lin sighed, thinking her parents are just like his, who left him to die on the streets. No matter how much the era changes, humans are always greedy. Children are just tools to stratify the parents. He put down the letter in anger and said he won't let this tragedy happen. Then on the day of the marriage, he disguised himself as one of the general's song helpers and reached outside Xu and Hua's house. He wanted to see for himself what does this general look like, who forcefully wanted to marry a girl. But to Lin's surprise, all he saw was an empty armor. He asked the fellow helper if he knew why the groom didn't come to the marriage, and he replied, because he died on the battlefield 3 days ago. He continued, but the wedding is still a wedding, just it became an underworld dark marriage. Lin was thinking that a dark marriage is for two families, people who have died. So can a living being and a dead person be in a dead marriage? Meanwhile, in Xu and Hua's room, an old lady gives her some peanuts and red dates porridge, which will help her bear many children. Her parents tell her to be quick, as the general song is already waiting outside, and they can't let the good time to marry pass. Xu and Hua took the porridge and started eating it, while Lin was thinking that he has to find her quickly. He reached inside and get relieved to see that she is alright. She gets surprised after seeing him and asked, why did he come? Lin went close to her and said he is there to take her away. Xu and Hua's father came and tells him to get lost and not try to cause trouble there. He grabbed Xu and Hua's hand and start running, while her father shouted at them to stop. Lin was thinking he already sent people to branch off the guards at the door, they just need to get on the carriage so they can escape successfully. But suddenly, Xu and Hua starts coughing and fall to the ground. Lin sit beside her and asked what happened. She muttered, that porridge has poisoned Dad, Mom, why? Her mother apologized and said, General Song died in war a few days ago, and only souls can marry, so. And her father added, if not for her mother, they won't have to wait until now. Lin shouted at them, asking, how can they decided on Xu and Hua's fate to live or die? He dashed towards her father and tells him to hand over the cure. He grabbed his collar and said, she is his daughter, so save her quickly. But then the guards arrived and pinned him down. Hua's father tells him to stop doing futile things, as arrow poison flower is incurable. Hua slowly crawled towards him, saying she didn't think that in the world someone actually cared for her. But before she could touch Lin for the last time, she lost all her strength. And as soon as she falls, the guards bring a coffin and Lin realized everything was prepared already. He shouted at Hua's father that for the sake of authority, he didn't hesitate to kill his own daughter. He is just a greedy trash. But her father replied, it's a child's job to sacrifice for the family. If he lived for 20 years longer, he would have understood. He then ordered his men to deal with Lin, since they cannot let an outsider know about this thing. The guards take him to a well to throw him inside. Hua was on her last breath and witnessed everything. The guards then kicked him in the well. They made up a story of how Xuan family's eldest daughter, Xu and Hua, died of illness 2 days ago. General Song died on the battlefield 3 days ago, so the two of them will be married on this date. Outside, everyone gets shocked as there was something on top of the coffin. It was the ghost of the bride, Xu and Hua, who was releasing a murderous aura. They all start running to save their lives, but she ruthlessly killed them all. Inside the well, Lin was on the brink of death, saying, the sky outside is so red, just like the clothes Xu and Hua sewed. He wondered if this is the ending of the story, and then he slowly lost consciousness. He remembered a girl from the past who was telling him to wake up. It was the time when he was 6 years old. The girl introduced herself as Tong Tong and give him bread to eat. She asked his grandpa if they can raise him, but her grandpa refused, saying he is not some wild cat, so absolutely no. After some time, Lin tells them about his life, how his parents called him useless and left him to die. The old man pats his head and tells him to cry if he is sad. Lin burst out and starts crying. He said his dad and mom are bad guys, so he hates them, but he still misses them. Tong then hugs him and tells him to not be sad, and let her be his mother in the future. Back at present, it was Tong who was hugging him. He realized that everything was an illusion, and this current Xu and Hua doesn't have human consciousness. Tong was ready to attack Hua, but Lin stopped her while saying she won't harm him. He wondered where Hua is heading, so he decides to follow her. Lin followed her and gets shocked to hear the marriage shaman Gu Soul bell. He saw a ghost carriage and realizes marrying is Xu and Hua's heart demon. And even after becoming a ghost, the plot and scene keep repeating in the ghost territory. He ran after her so he could destroy this cycle and save Xu and Hua. He ordered Tong to go and destroy the carriage. But to their surprise, the carriage was protected by some kind of barrier that only Hua can pass from. He then realized that the bell sound is what controls the ghost spirit, thus luring Hua to get on the ghost carriage. He came in front of Xiu and Hua and tried to remind her of the past. But she used her skill, Flash, and passed through him. Lin knows, with his companion's favorability now, he cannot control it. But then, a thought crossed his mind. He went inside the well, where her father throw and kill her lover. Inside, he found his skeleton, which was holding the other half of the comb. He take the comb from its hands, and then he went inside Hua's room and find the other half. And as soon as he combined the comb, it starts releasing some kind of waves. He then went close to Hua and asked if she still remember this token. And to Lin's surprise, her hand stretched for it, so he asked if she woke up now. She clenches her fist in anger and dashed towards the ghost carriage. She destroyed the barrier and then the ghost carriage into pieces. But to their surprise, the ghost carriage instantly regenerated itself. Lin then takes out a burner from his inventory storage and throws it inside the carriage. And then, the carriage got burned, so Lin wondered if it ended. Then the next second, the carriage regenerated again and was about to attack them. Lin noticed the ghost flame skill in Hua's possession and thought, he never expected her to have such a strong skill. The carriage attacked Hua, but she burned it with her ghost flame. Lin ordered Tong to help Xiu and Hua to control the ghost carriage movements, and Xiu and Hua to pass the ghost flame through her threads. Tong sealed the carriage movements, and then Hua covered it in her silk threads and used her ghost flame to completely burn it. The system congratulates Lin for completing the mission and gives 20 favorability for Marriage Bride's companion. It added that his companion favorability has reached 50, so he can bind Marriage Bride as his second ghost spirit. It instructs Lin to pass a drip of his blood to the Marriage Bride for her to swallow. He bite his finger and then Xiu and Hua sucks his blood to form the contract. He obtained 1000 ghost experience and 1 ghost spirit pill for completing the mission. Also, he obtained a lottery draw chance as well. After a while, Lin was inside Hua's room, thinking, as expected of high-rank spirit, she has many abilities like Flash, Ghost Cut, Ghost Flame, and her talent is Extraordinary Sense. And the most amazing is her ghost territory. Not only she can cut the connection between Ghost Master and Ghost Spirit, she has a rare double territory. He then decides to use the lottery draw. He obtained the ability called Crack Ghost Pattern, in which the host is able to crack a portion of Ghost Pattern with the help of Ghost Spirit. Suddenly, Lin heard a horseshoe sound nearby, so he decides to check it. But Xiu and Hua stopped him from doing so and then cancelled her ghost territory. He was then transported to a new location, so Lin realized that she used her flash ability after hearing the horseshoe sound. This means the horseshoe's sound owner should be an evil spirit that's her enemy, or he is the one controlling the ghost carriage. But since Xiu and Hua decided to use flash ability, it seems like they need more information before they can deal with it. After a while, in Liu City's Ghost Master Association, the leader, Yan, couldn't believe that Lin returned safely, as it's been 3 days since he disappeared. He then informed her that the matter with the Marriage Bride's ghost spirit is all settled. She couldn't believe that Lin bonded with a spirit of rank A. She then used her womanly charm on him and asked him to give her some realistic benefit, which confused Lin. She said it's simple, he just needs to join Ghost Master Association, as that alone is enough to raise her standings. She promised him to give a special position, in which he will have freedom and authority, and just need to join important large missions. Lin thought, to be able to have authority seems not bad, and he might be able to find out about Hua's enemy, and information about that mysterious temple. He then agreed to join her association, which makes her happy. She then tells him that to join the Ghost Master Union, there are conditions, which is level acknowledgement. He is still under trainee period, but has sufficient combat ability, but still, he might not get acknowledged by officials. But luckily, there is Liu City's raiding event, so she tells him to prepare and join it. Later at night, Lin was saying that tomorrow is the raiding ceremony. Hua is still resting, but with Tong, everything should be fine. And as he lie down on the bed, he noticed someone standing beside him. He turns around and gets shocked to see Hua, who was looking at him with love. She lie down next to him and Lin wondered if he need to sleep like this. Then the next morning, he stood up to get ready for the tournament, as he was already late. Hua brings his clothes and Lin realized she is treating him as her husband. She starts changing his clothes, but he tells her to stop and that he can do it himself. After reaching the location, Lin heard the announcer saying that this time there are over 3,000 participants, so it's going to be exciting. She said there are mostly last year's graduate students and different year's students along with the trainees. Lin classmates saw him participating in the tournament and start cheering for him, thinking he will shock everyone as his rating is C rank. The other participants were making fun of him, saying they took the exam over a year and only 30% passed, so he is going to humiliate himself. The first round was the Ghost Spirit written exam. It has a total of 20 MCQs and 10 short answered questions. Every question will appear on the screen for 60 seconds, and those who got the wrong answer will be disqualified. While the other students are failing one by one, thinking this year's questions are crazy tough. Lin passed the exam and thought it was too simple. Then the second round is mental spirit test, in which they need to maintain their state, no matter how strong the enemy is. In this round, 3 examiners will let their evil ghost spirit release the ghost aura, and will examine everyone's mental strength. While the other students were shivering in fear, Lin stood there calmly as if nothing is happening. The girl announced, everyone is falling after being affected by the ghost aura, which includes a genius from the senior students. The last examiner is the Elder Gu, who has an evil spirit called Demon Eyes that symbolize and live inside him. All the students have fallen, and out of 3,000, only 9 remained. Then the exciting moment has come. The students will go up the rating stage and summon their ghost spirit, so it can analyze the level of their spirit. The first person was a student named Kyan, who failed the test since his spirit was of only F rank. Second was Sheng, whose spirit was of D rank, so he passed the test. The third one is none other than Lin, the only trainee student who has reached this far. Everyone starts talking about him, that he is the one with physic body. The guy with the D rank spirit said if this fresher passes, then he would eat the armored vehicle. Lin thought he just need to make an appearance, not draw too much attention. He then summoned Tong for her to be tested. His classmates were praying that his spirit should be of at least C rank, since it's a matter of their school's prestige. And then, to everyone's surprise, Lin's spirit was of B rank, which is equal to their vice captain's rank. The announcer smiled and said they didn't see wrongly, it's really a B rank spirit. And as she was congratulating Lin, someone stabbed him from behind. The guy then captured Tong, saying he finally found him. And then to Lin's surprise, the guy was none other than Shan, who was laughing evilly while saying he killed his brother, so today's the day he is going to die. The girl announced a perverted uncle disguised himself as a student and then harmed Lin Feng. The Elder Gu said this guy forcefully synchronized an evil spirit, so he won't live for long. One of the examiners attacked Shan, but got easily defeated by him. Lin thought he worked hard for revenge, but today is the day he is going to die. And as Shan was about to kill Lin, his attack got stopped by some strings. Hua was in the sky, who sealed Shan's movements along with his spirit. And then in front of everyone, she killed him and his evil spirit. The other masters get shocked to see that a B-rank spirit has instantly killed. The elder said this spirit didn't even open ghost territory, yet she instantly killed it, so what in the hell she is. He then remembered that this is the marriage bride spirit that caused Lu City to be sealed, and even the Ghost Master Association can't deal with her. Lin's classmates were crying in fear and praying to God that they doesn't want to die. The system updated that Hua killed a B-rank spirit, so he got 3,000 ghost spirit experience, 10 companion favorability, and also obtained 1 wrap corpse bag. Lin thanked Hua, and everyone fell silent. They wondered why this evil spirit is not attacking Lin Feng. The announcer hesitantly asked if this spirit could be his second spirit. Lin sighed, since he couldn't hide his trump card, and said, yes it is. The whole stadium went silent again. And then, they all starts cheering for him and called him amazing. Their teacher called him a genius for having 2 high-ranking spirits at his age, as even the principal only have a B-rank spirit, so he suggested making him the principal. The girl then happily announced that Lin Feng's grade is rank A. After some days, Lin was holed up inside his room, while some people were begging him to make them his disciple. He sighed, thinking he didn't sleep well for 7 days, as after the raiding, his mansion became a tourist attraction place. He even tried to use ghost territory to rest, but inside Tong's territory, the toys keep asking him to play with them. He then tried using Hua's territory, But he kept hearing her say, first comb to end, second will love until white hair, and third will live together forever. Even though he has a large sum of money, but if he goes out shopping, he will get surrounded. Outside, the announcer from the tournament was telling everyone that this is the rumored Lin Feng's house, who have 2 high-ranked spirits at the age of 15. Yan reached outside his mansion and thought it's hard for him to stay in Liu City. Later that day, Yan offered Lin to go to High City, which is one of the 5 cities, as she is going there for a business trip. Lin gets shocked and Yan explained that Ghost Master Association has a total of 5 branches. High City has east side, west, south, north, all have an area counted as the biggest city, but High City is at east side's core and has many C-rank masters. He can also auction ghost token if he has any. Lin said it sounds good and thought Hua's ghost territory has many ghost masters tokens, so they should be worth quite a lot. Yan then tells him to go back and pack up, as they will head off the day after tomorrow. 2 days later, Lin and the others left for the High City. Yan tells him that the city is few hundred kilometers, and there are many killer traps of ghosts in the way, but the association has specialized road for traveling. Lin was thinking how his school teaching is limited, as there are many things in the world that he doesn't know about. After traveling for a while, they all reached the port, where a submarine was waiting for them. Yan said that the submarine was painted with gold, so it can prevent water ghosts from sensing humans, so Lin can rest ashore. At night, they arrived at High City, and Yan took Lin to her house. She tells him to show his ghost tokens to her that he wants to sell. He tells Tong to force out the ghost spirit, and she released the small head axe B-rank ghost spirit. Yan shockingly said, a B-rank spirit that doesn't have an owner, how exactly did he obtain it? Lin replied, they are all found in the marriage bride's ghost territory. There seem to be 5 more, so how much can they sell for? Yan gets shocked to hear that he has 5 more spirits and said, spirit without an owner is extremely rare, and it's her first time seeing such a high rank one. She tells him that his spirits will be sold for millions, so she will contact the auction for him and ask them to help with the selling process. After some time, Lin was relaxing, thinking it's been a long time since he enjoyed such a relaxing night. He remembered that High City has high-rank missions and special missions too, and thought, not long later Tong and Hua can be upgraded. He then gets surprised to see Hua there, as he's sure that he locked the door. But then he realized that locking the door isn't useful, and if you want to block her, then he need to paint the whole bathroom with gold paint. He hides his body from her and asked, what is she planning to do? After some time, Xuan Hua was wiping his back for him, which makes him flustered. He gained 50 experience points and 5 favorability points for bathing with Hua. Then later at night, Hua was sleeping next to Lin. He was looking at her face while thinking, being able to see such a pretty face when he woke up is good. Meanwhile, nearby at High City's defense area, some ghost masters were boasting how they just killed a B-rank evil spirit. Suddenly, their leader heard some horseshoe sounds and wondered, why would anyone ride a horse in such a place? They know this can't be a human, so they get ready to battle. They all summoned their ghosts and saw someone riding a horse. And to their bad luck, it's the headless General S-rank ghost spirit. The general easily destroyed their spirit's ghost territories and killed them all. Then the next day, Lin woke up in the afternoon. He gets surprised to see 3 beautiful ladies in front of him. Yan said he was sleeping so comfortably, so she didn't wake him up for the morning auction. But if he didn't wake up now, her Hua might make the 5th time breakfast. He and Yan then enjoyed the breakfast made by Xuan Hua, and Yan praised her by saying, that era's girl is indeed virtuous. She then tells Lin that all of his B-rank ghost spirits are crazily snatched. In the end, they are sold for 20 million credit points. Lin gets too shocked that he became rich in a single night. The total he had was 21 million, but after deducting 10% auction fees, 6% tax, and 20% agency fees, he is left with almost 13 million. Yan transferred the amount to his account and tells him to enjoy, because she has something to handle at the association, as there's an urgent incident. She tells him that yesterday, a small ghost master's squad heads were all chopped off by an evil spirit, and today, an expert ghost master also died. Suddenly, she heard someone saying she doesn't have to worry about this matter as he will handle it, and Yan addressed him as Leader Zhuo and asked, why is he there? He said he specifically came to notify her, since that head chopper spirit appeared in High City, so let him handle it, and she should just take rest. He added that he has arranged everything and then showed them a ghost master recording device who was killed yesterday. Lin gets shocked since the horseshoe sound in the recording device is the same as the one who charged Xu Hua's ghost territory. He then looked at the recording and found that this ghost has no head. Zhuo then tells Yan to not interrupt as everything is going smoothly under his command. Yan agreed to leave it to him this time. Lin was thinking that this headless general armor is the same as the general that was prepared to marry Hua, so he must be the evil spirit behind that ghost carriage. And as Lin was thinking about how this general found Xu Hua's location, the system gives him the mission of finding Xu Hua's engagement certificate and destroy it. Lin now understands everything and decides to go to the ghost territory to find the engagement contract so he can destroy it. After a while, inside Hua's ghost territory, Tong, Xu Hua, and Lin were searching for the contract. And then Lin finds the contract, which has some ghost words written on it. He tears the contract into pieces, but it got regenerated again. He then tells Xu Hua to do it, so she burned it with her ghost flames. The system congratulates him for completing 50% of the mission, so Lin realized that the other half is with the headless general. Then later at night, he accepted the association's inner mission of eliminating all evil spirits inside a ghost cave, and the reward is 4 million. He thought, now that Hua's marriage contract is gone, finding her won't be easy, so it's time to get stronger. Meanwhile, at Hai's city north side, Zhuo and his team reach there and find some more masters' heads, chopped off by the headless general. He asked his daughters to check the bodies, as they have special tracking abilities. His daughters said these ghost masters died half an hour ago, and even if the rain covered its trace, but they can trace it by the fragment energy from the horseshoes. 1 hour later, the sister Yu tells them to stop, since the ghost aura is thicker there, so the spirit should be in the front mountain. Zhuo tells everyone to extinguish their car lights and adapt to moonlight so they can fight in the dark. He said they will be using strategy 3, in which 5 squads will split up and surround it, and just wait for the perfect time to attack. The sister Ling then used her ghost butterfly to scout the area. Zhuo laughed evilly and said their goal is to capture the ghost horse alive. Ling was scared, but Yu tells her to not worry, since father has gathered over 30 people, and adding him, there's still 3 ghost masters of rank A. The headless general arrived and Zhuo ordered the members to use ghost territory to seal it. Everyone then summoned their ghosts and used ghost territory. And to their surprise, instead of dodging, the general dashed towards them. He easily destroyed the first team's ghost territories and killed them all. Zhuo couldn't believe a B rank 7 people team got instantly defeated, and even the ghost spirits disappeared. He then summoned his spirit Jin Wu and tells it to use ghost territory to stop the general. Also, he ordered other members to stack their territories. They trapped the general inside, thinking ghost territories didn't get shattered, so he can't leave now. Zhuo smiled and thought, it doesn't have a head, which means it doesn't have a brain, so a trapped brainless ghost general can only get exhausted to death. He then ordered his and the other spirits to kill the general, but just don't hurt the ghost horse. Slowly, the ghost masters were losing their spirits as the general was killing them one by one. He also used the first team ghost spirits that he killed before. And then, the general released all the spirits under his possession, and then unleashed all of their ghost territories. Zhuo gets scared, thinking now that the inner ghosts unleashed their territories at the same time, their stacked territory will be destroyed. They all then start running away from the general, as he was killing others one by one. Ling said the other members hasn't arrived, but Zhuo replied they can't wait any longer, and then he tried to run away. The general reached a car behind them and sent it flying. The car then gets crashed with their truck, thus spoiling their truck's engine. Zhuo then tells his daughter to quickly hide in the storage area, since that place is painted with gold. Inside, he tells them to not be scared, as the general can't find them there, but Ling said that the storage door has a hole in it. She peeked outside and saw the general outside their truck. She gets scared and realized they are going to die. But then, to her surprise, the general turned his attention away from them. Outside, the general was looking at Xu Hua, who was luring him away from the truck. After a while, the father and daughters screamed as someone opened the door. But luckily, it was Lin who was there to save them. He then ordered Hua to use flash and move away from there, and then she transported him along with Zhuo and his daughters. After some time, in High City number 13 side defense, Zhuo was cursing the general since he killed his second ghost spirit, which he got after a long time. After doing the bandages, Lin tried to leave, but Zhuo begged him to help them eliminate the headless general, and also help him to convince Yan to take action. 3 hours ago, while Lin was in the ghost cave, he was leveling up by killing and capturing the spirits there. He received a ghost fragment after killing a B-rank spirit that he can use to strengthen his ghost territory. He also obtained a ghost cape that he can use to hide his presence. Even though it looked ugly, Lin decides to wear it, and to his surprise, it changes its form and gets absorbed by him. He said, as expected, this place is a gold grinding place, as it's full of B or even high rank spirits that he was killing to upgrade. After killing some spirits, he once again got a ghost territory fragment as a reward, but this time, its color was different from before. He then obtained some ghost sea grass, so he wondered if it can be used to feed ghosts. And then the system informed him that his spirit tongue can be upgraded, so does he wish to continue? And Lin replied positively. His body got strengthened by 3 times, and Tong reached the rank A. She also awakened a ghost spell, called Mutation, which can last 100 seconds in battle. After a while, Lin was thinking about, in just a few more days, Xu and Hua can rise to S rank. And it's all thanks to the inner information of the association. After some time, Lin came out of the cave and thought, walking at night isn't convenient, so he should get a motorcycle for himself. Even though Hua has flash ability, but it's not for long distance teleport. And then he wondered if he can get the headless general horse. Lin then heard some sounds coming from afar, so he decides to check it. He gets shocked to see the headless general, and that even 30 ghost masters can't stop him. He knows that he can't defeat him in his current condition, so he decides to get back to city to gather more information. But then, he noticed the leader Zhuo and some girls hiding in a truck, and figures that they will be discovered by the headless general. Back at present, he explained everything to Yan and the others. Zhuo begged Yan to help him eliminate the headless general, or he will lose his face as a co-leader. Yan replied she only has a S-rank spirit, which is going through metamorphosis, so she didn't have enough combat ability, and then she asked Lin about his opinion. Zhuo gets shocked to hear that this boy is Lin Feng, Lu City's prodigy. The girls also get impressed and thought, no wonder he does things like an adult. Also, he is so strong and handsome. Zhuo begged Lin to help him, and in return, he will offer 1 million credit points, but Lin said he doesn't need money. Zhuo asked what he wants, house, money, or position, and Yu suggested him to give his daughter too. But Zhuo said he will have to cross over his dead body first before touching his daughter, but Lin ignored him and said he has 3 conditions. 1. He wants every information regarding the general. 2. He will decide the whole battle strategy. And 3. After winning, all loots will be his. Zhuo thought he can never give the general's horse and sword to a brat, and refused to agree with the 3rd condition. Lin realized that Zhuo also wants the horse, and he might have failed before because he wanted to capture it alive, so he offered him a spirit of rank A. Zhuo couldn't believe that Lin has such a treasure, and now that he lost his 2nd spirit, so he need one quickly. Lin said if he agrees to his condition, then he will give him this ghost spirit and 10 million credit points, otherwise, he won't help him and deal with the general himself. Yan wondered, when did Lin become so brave? While Zhuo was feeling embarrassed since Lin was putting pressure on him, and 10 million points are too cheap. Lin said if he didn't answer in 15 seconds, then his offer will be closed. And as he was counting backward, Zhuo sighed and agreed, thinking, this boy is going to be very strong in the future. After a while, Lin was thinking about the information that he got from Zhuo, that the general didn't use his ghost territory till the end. Lin thought that as for crushing the other spirit territories, the source should come from the horse, not related to the headless general. He knows that he needs a strong ghost territory to trap the general, so he tells Hua to open her ghost territory. And as they went inside the ghost territory, the system asked if he wants to use the fragments to make changes in the territory. He had different fragments for different types of changes, like blue for water, green for forest, and many more. Lin used the forest fragment first, so the system asked him to pick the form from the 5 options, and Lin selected the Sakura forest. And after using every fragments, Hua's territory expanded 10 times larger. He then take out the ghost sea grass and place them in the river. He asked Hua to see if she can control the grass, and it was working great. Lin smiled, thinking now that the trap is made, the headless general will be trapped like a rat. Then the next day, the other Ghost Masters were talking about the incident last night, where more than 20 Ghost Masters got killed by a single spirit. One of them said, if Leader Zhu is dead, then those two twins are his. In the afternoon, the daughters were asking their father if they can recruit Lin Feng, but he said that Lin is already on Yan's side, so he won't join them. Meanwhile, Yan was asking Lin if he liked those two twins, and if he is going to leave her for girls. She tried to seduce Lin, but the vice leader tells her to watch her actions. After some time, the group reached the location, where more than 30 masters were killed by the general. The vice leader's spirit then find a feather and Zhuo said it's his ghost spirit Wu's body. Vice leader tells everyone to follow her spirit since she has a lead. Later at night, they arrived at a mountain, where they find more ghost masters' bodies. Yu then points at something and said, a black dot is moving. Luckily, Lin now have 3 times the vision, so he find the headless general, who was heading towards the food town. Yan said, the town has many people, so they can't let him reach the town. Lin then takes out the comb and orders Xu and Hua to unleash her ghost territory. And as she came out of the token, the general changed his direction and dashed towards her. Lin ordered everyone to summon their spirits and get ready for the battle. After getting inside Hua's territory, Yan said it got changed so much, as expected of a rare ghost. And as soon as the general entered the territory, Tong used ghost stealth on Lin and the others. Lin said they will observe first, since they still need to confirm his guess about the general's ghost territory and ghost horse. Yan finds it strange that the general is finding someone, yet he is not getting off the horse. So Lin said, once the general goes down the horse, his ability will be greatly reduced. The general then entered Hua's room, but it was empty. Angered, he released the spirits tamed by him, so they can search the whole ghost territory. So Lin tells Yan to inform everyone to ambush these small ghosts. Yu said it's amazing, since so many ghost spirits got summoned, but the ghost territory didn't have any changes. Lin then tells Hua to go according to the plan. She then showed herself and starts moving towards the river at full speed. The general noticed her running, so he dashed towards her. Everything was according to Lin's plan, in which he will use the water seagrass to drag down the horse, so they can separate the general from it. Lin saw that it running on water like land, and faster in speed, scared that Xu and Hua ran away. Lin smiled, thinking they won't let him get away, as they were waiting for this moment. Lin said the general is strong, but the water is his territory. But then to his surprise, there was no movement in the water, the seagrass couldn't grow up at all, so he wondered what Hua is exactly doing. The general went close to Hua and stopped. Yan couldn't believe that Lin Feng's spirit didn't use any skills, yet the headless general slowed down. Lin then realized that Xu and Hua used herself as a bait, so once the general slowed down, she can use the seagrass on him. And just as he expected, she used the seagrass to drag the horse down as soon as it stopped. Lin understood, if the ghost horse was in full state running mode, it might not be able to tangle it, but now, Xu and Hua's plan succeeded. The other spirits dashed towards the general to help him, so Tong and the other spirits attacked them. Yan then summoned her spirit and tells her to create a path for them, and then Yan and Lin also went towards the general. A spirit attacked Tong, so Yan warned her since the spirit was of rank A. But to her surprise, Tong killed it in a single attack, and obtained health recovery for killing it, which recovers her 1% strength every second. Yan couldn't believe that in just few days, Lin's other spirit also reached rank A. The vice leader thought Lin's both spirits are too strong and exceeded their rank, so if this battle is won, then he will be famous throughout the entire east part. Lin saw the general still struggling and thought, even though his subordinates are all killed, he still can't bear to get off the horse. He then ordered Tong to force him to get off the horse, so she attacked the general. And as soon as the general jumped from his horse, all the spirits including Tong attacked him. But to their surprise, every spirit got pushed back, so they wondered, why isn't he injured? Yan figured that the general's armor is able to cause reflective damage, so they won't be able to harm him. The general then jumped at Tong, and as he was about to kill her, she transformed into her mutated form and stopped his attack. Lin thought, even though Tong's ability has increased, they still need to remove the armor speciality, so they won't be able to attack. He ordered Hua to use Ghost Flame, as it was the weakness to both Ghost Carriage and Marriage Contract. And just as Lin expected, the Ghost Flame was effective against the general. Tong used this opportunity to attack the general, and the general fall to his knees. Everyone thought that the battle is over, but Lin said it's not dead while thinking that the system didn't send notification yet. The general was faking its death, and then he attacked Tong. But Tong cut off his arm, and the general's sword got caught by Lin. He then pierced the general's body with his own sword, thus successfully killed him. He got 4,000 experience points and 1,000 companion favorability for Xu and Hua. He also obtained Ghost Sword, that caused continuous and additional damage to Ghost Spirit. He then got the Ghost Armor, which reflects physical damage and has high defense. Then the Ghost Cape, that subdues Ghost Spirit who's in a dying state and makes it yours. And the last was the Ghost Horse, that has high speed travel, ignores exhaustion, ignores territory type, and also ignores some territory's barrier. Lin was happy, thinking all the item that he got are treasures, and the headless general should be called the treasure box. Meanwhile, Ling asked her dad why is he not helping Lin, as there is no movement from the other side. But he replied, didn't she say before that living is more precious than this? Suddenly, Hua's ghost territory disappeared, so they wondered if Lin's group succeeded. Yu then screamed and pointed at something. It was the headless general, who was coming towards them. But to their surprise, it was not the general, but Lin Feng. Yan also arrived and tells them that the headless general was killed by Lin. The sisters couldn't believe that the general, who killed over 20 masters alone, died at the hands of Lin. Zhuo gets frustrated since a 15-year-old boy got all the benefits, and then he asked Lin if he is selling the horse. Lin refused, but Zhuo offered him 50 million credit points for it. Lin still refused, so Zhuo raised the price by 30 million, and then 20 more. Ling wondered if her dad is going crazy since he offered 100 million just for the ghost horse. Yao asked the vice leader if Zhuo have that much money, and she replied, his family is a noble family, so this much money means nothing to him. Lin said, 100 years ago, money was still the power of society, but he understand clearly that the most valuable items can't be bought with money. Yan thought he is right, as the most valuable thing nowadays is a strong ghost master. He is already too strong, and will get stronger in the future, so this is unmeasurable with money, a height unimaginable. Lin then tells Yan to leave, as he is going to ride his horse back and get more familiar with it. He then summoned Tong and Hua while saying he will bring them around today to celebrate Hua's single status. Tong then noticed an evil spirit, so Lin tells her to try the horse ability. The horse easily destroyed the evil spirit territory, and then Lin killed it with the sword and gained 1800 experience points. He smiled, thinking both the horse and sword are useful. Not only spirit can gain experience without attacking, but they also reached High City in a short time. Lin then get off the horse, as going in like that would have drawn unwanted attention. Lin then thought what he should do about the ghost horse, as he can't put it in the inventory space. But then the system notified him that the inventory space can be upgraded, so he replied positively to that. Lin gets surprised after upgrading the storage, since it got big enough to even stay. His clothes and ghost horse stable got auto-formed, and the system tells him that he can feed ghost seagrass to his horse for recovering its stamina. Suddenly, Tong gets worried for some reason, which confused Lin. Outside, he noticed a spirit whose ghost energy is weird, and it was even weaker than the E-rank ghost spirit. The spirit ignored them, so Lin thought maybe this spirit is the type of spirit that Yan mentioned about, and it will react only when the conditions are met. He then noticed a mailbag and thought maybe there is a treasure inside it. He ordered Tong to snatch the bag, and just as he expected, as soon as Tong snatched it, his energy increased greatly. Suddenly, Lin found himself in the ghost cave, so he realized that Hua used flash to move them. Which means that the male ghost made Hua feel threatened and endangered. Tong then opened the bag and found a letter inside it. Lin saw the letter, which was written in the ghost language, just like the marriage contract. The system tells him that he can use Xu and Hua ghost word reading ability to read it. After using the ability, he saw that a ghost is requesting help in the letter. The system then activated the third high-level ghost spirit mission, in which Lin can select the unknown female ghost that writes ghost letter as his third spirit. The system continued that he need to complete 3 ghost spirit companion favorability missions to successfully find the third spirit, and Lin accepted the mission. In the first mission, he needs to write a reply letter to the female ghost, and then hand it over to the male delivery guy. Lin sighed, thinking he just snatched his bag, but now he need to ask him to send a letter. This is karma. He asked Tong and Hua if they can defeat the male delivery guy, and they instantly refused by shaking their heads. He then writes a letter asking who is she. Lin then noticed the mail delivery guy came running towards them. He was looking so angry, and was thinking of only killing the ones who stole his bag. Lin quickly put the letter inside the bag and throw it at him. And as soon as he got the bag, the mailman turned into a gentle soul, and left happily from there. Meanwhile in High City's Lord Mansion, some ghost masters informed the Lord that yesterday night, that headless general was killed by Lin Feng. The city lord knows about Lin Feng achievements and said he is a rare physic body, so they must recruit him no matter the price. At the same time, in High City Bar, some ghost masters were talking about how because of the headless general, they can't go out of the city and earn money. The waiter then tells them that he hacked the association's inner authority and finds that the general was killed last night. He showed that it was killed by Lin Feng, who is only 15 years old. But then an old master said some people are gifted and they should return home and marry a girl, as they should at least be better than him at dating girls. Meanwhile, in Lin Feng's room, he was sleeping with Tong and Hua when Yan arrived and wake him up. She tells him that the city's government people came to see him. After a while, Liu Ru, the third Miss of High City, was telling him that she paid attention to him at Liu City, but the Ghost Master Association recruited him first. She asked if he wants to join the High City governance, but Lin refused instantly. She said the Ghost Master Association was established by a strong Ghost Master, and her father also has a position in it, so there will be many benefits for him. She continued that her father is 86 years old and will pass away in 5 years, then she will become the new city lord. But her current combat ability is not strong enough, so she needs to pick someone strong to be her husband and rule the High City. Lin gets shocked after hearing her words that she will marry him and then half the city will be his. He understood that the Lord is planning not to only give his daughter, but also a city. And then he addressed Liu as sister and asked why did she choose him. Shocked, she asked in return why is he calling her a sister. Lin replied he is only 15 years old, so of course he can only call her sister. Liu said 5 years later he won't be 15, so think about her offer before taking any decision. And then she left in a hurry. After she left, Lin wondered if he said anything wrong. Inside her car, Liu was feeling so awkward, as no one told her before that Lin Feng is only 15 years old. She thought she is young and pretty, so there is no need to take the guilt of trying to take advantage of someone younger than her, and wondered if Lin will agree. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.